Okay, hey y'all, hey y'all. Hey y'all. It's your girl Lex. Back at it again for another episode of The Life of Lex. Yeah, I've had to take some time to sit with myself and go through the lessons I'm learning during this time of reflection and evolving, right? And as I was writing in my journal today, I realized that I did an episode a while back where I was talking about how, I had a couple, I had a wild time in college, right? And that some of that came from my early exposure to porn, right? And so I had to revisit those moments, right? That life that I had. And I realized that those things in life aren't sent to make you feel bad about yourself, right? Because the more I knew, the more aware I was of myself, if that makes sense. So, having known what sex actually looks like and what could happen during that time frame, um, it made me stay away from a lot of things just because I wasn't as green, if that makes sense. Like I'd seen it all. And so I have to thank God for that because I could have been like other kids who didn't know anything about sex and their body parts and orgasms and things of that nature and masturbation and just been exploring it with other people and getting into more trouble than I did get into, right? Um, but then I also had to realize by the time I got to college, I knew what I was getting myself into, if that makes sense, when I decided to have sex. So, what happened during those times, I have to take accountability for because I wasn't just exploring myself, right? And I let myself get into things, but you live and you learn. Like now I know better, I gotta do better, right? And so now I know what I know. Can't go back to being ignorant to things. Um, and some things I didn't know. I found out through life experiences. But that's what I've just been learning about my life, just going back through all of the things, and learning how to apply that to my life now in this very moment. And I think it's very healthy to explore yourself sexually without anyone else, right? Um, but yeah, I just feel like sex comes with a lot of complications. A lot of complications. And it's being very vulnerable with somebody. Like Have y'all ever had sex with somebody and not even wanted to kiss them? Like, what kind of sense does that make? What kind of sense does that make? Shit, I done did it, so now I know better. Anywho, I've also just been learning about how to care for myself, how to make sure that I am feeling good on the inside and out, to where I can't be shaken by outside forces so easily. Um, and that starts with self care. Um, and that comes in many forms, right? So let's say you like to shave, right? You like to shave your legs, your armpits, your hairs, all the hairs. You know what I'm saying? You like to shave, and making it a priority to you that you have razors, whatever you like to shave with, whether that be shaving cream. I use conditioner, and that has been my go-to since college. Um, and I cut myself a lot less with conditioner, but that's just me. Um, making sure that, once a week, or for me, I make sure that once a week I shave everything. Maybe not my arms, because my arms don't look hairy. I like to shave them maybe 3 times a year. But yeah, armpits, legs, coochie hair, once a week. Just for maintenance, you know what I'm saying? Not that, like, even when it's cold outside, I still shave just because I like doing that for myself. I like how it feels when I get in the bed and I can feel the sheets on my legs, like with no hair in between. That's just what I like. And it also makes me aware of what's going on with my body, right? So that's one thing I do for self-care. Um, Also, like, giving myself a facial. However, it may look like for that day, I make sure that I get it done, if that makes sense. Because I do it differently, and I also do a lot of face masks, like, in between. But when I'm giving myself a facial, I make sure that I'm exfoliating, um, getting hairs out of the way, dead skin, and then follow it up with moisture, and then follow it up with oil to seal all that in. And so that's what I did for myself today. Make sure I get all those blackheads and pimples. That's definitely important, especially around your nose, and under your lip. Get that. And they have the little tool. I got it at Dollar Tree like a long time ago. But anyways, yeah, just making sure that I am feeling good, looking good, right? Like, I can't say I want to be able to run if I don't exercise. I can't say I want a big ass if I don't go do some squats. I might not get a big ass, but it'll look better than what it did if I do some squats. That's for sure. That's for sure. And just making sure I'm using my muscles and making sure they're all flowing so that I'm not just throwing my body into shock in case I gotta get up and run. If that makes sense. Like, warm your body up. Make sure that you're prepared for the day. Self-care can also come in morning routines. I don't have a morning routine. I used to, where I would get up, shower, put clothes on, eat breakfast, go to work. But while I was in the bathroom, I had certain things that I would do before I got in the shower and after, and this, that, and the third. And I had my makeup. I have a makeup routine all put together. Just things that make me feel whole and complete before I am throwing myself out there to the world. Because I want to show up as my best self as much as possible. And that's what it means to learn lessons, because nothing good really comes to you when you're unprepared. Because, like, let's say somebody says, hey, I want you to come in for an interview, like, in 30 minutes, bring your resume. You show up, you get the job, right? But if you don't have your resumes printed out already, you're going to be scrambling to try to get that printed out, and you're going to end up missing that interview, or you're going to show up unprepared. So, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. And that's just what I'm wanting to do with my life, just staying prepared for whatever the day throws at me. But one thing that does help is praying when I wake up and thanking God for the day. Letting God know that I'm surrendering my will for the day to His. So I'm not rushing to get to this and that and the third. If it ain't meant for me, then I'm supposed to be doing something else, right? Like, if it was meant for me to go DoorDashing right now, I would do that. But wasn't really prepared. But I knew I had to talk about some things. And I am prepared to talk. So here I am. So yeah. Life is crazy. And I've realized that as much as I may want to do certain things, they may not be for me. And that's okay. That is okay. But there's something that drew you there, and you have to explore what drew you to wanting that. If that makes sense. Like, dig deeper. For example, when I first wanted a hamster in my dorm room, I was like, well, let me do my research on hamsters before I just get a hamster and I know what to do with it. So I did my research. Like how often you're supposed to change the cage, what kind of cage. I did my research, right? I'll go get a hamster, sneak it into my dorm room. And I got the hamster, and then I got a cage, and I didn't know how big the cage was. And the hamster was too big for the cage. So Andy bit me. So I ended up taking the hamster back to the store. Because I was like, this motherfucker bit me. Like, yeah, do something with that. And they swapped it out, gave me another hamster, small one. And took it back. That motherfucker bit me. I took his ass back. Right? I go back, get another one. The small little black one. Named it Midnight. And I kept Midnight. Midnight was happy in his little cage. And I made sure that on Saturdays I would go, or, well, I would make sure that I had the filling for the bottom of his cage, right? And then I would make sure to change it on Saturdays when I'm doing my cleaning. I'll change his cage, put him in the little hamster ball and let him roll around and explore. Made sure that he had food. Sometimes I would give him broccoli. Like, my hamster was so happy. And I made sure that his little wheel was spinning because he loved that little wheel. Um, and sometimes, like, I would try to hold him, but he was kind of scared of me, and I was scared of him, so it didn't really work out. But that's beside the point. And then when I moved out of the dorm, I got a bigger cage because I moved into an apartment. I got a bigger cage, put him in there, realizing that he was having problems climbing up the little steps. Well, he could climb, but he didn't figure out how to get down. He would just jump down or fall down. And I had to go get like a cardboard box and cut out parts and put it down on the little platforms so he could walk on it. And I just made it so that he could be happy, right? And my little hamster loved that little cage. And let me tell y'all what happened to this hamster. So, I took him home. I don't know if it was a he or a her. I took the hamster home for the weekend. And one of my cousins upset me. So I put everything in my car to go back to my apartment. And my family was trying to like calm me down. And you know, I could talk for a long time. So we talked for a long time. And it was July. Okay? Mind you, it's July in Georgia. Okay? So it's hot as hell. I made sure that the hamster had water. I checked on the hamster, right? And then I get ready to go. Hamster ain't moving. The fucking hamster died. So we had to sidetrack and have a little side funeral for my little hamster Midnight. And buried him in the backyard. And I had to drive back with an empty hamster cage. And then I had to go back to my apartment to another big ass empty hamster cage. And I was like, this is embarrassing. But I didn't throw any other things away. And so when one of my old roommates that I had, she had a hamster. And she needed a cage. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have a whole bunch of hamster shit. And so I took it to her. And the irony of the story is that same roommate, so it was a 4-bedroom little dorm apartment unit, right? And so there are 4 of us in this unit. And that roommate and her friend didn't like me. And I was scared that they were going to like spit in my food and stuff and kill me. So I told that to the housing department. And so they moved me out of that dorm into another dorm. And in that other dorm is when I got the hamster. So funny how things work out. But anywho, R.I.P. Midnight. But yeah, I went through like 3 hamsters for no reason. But one of them bit the hell out of me. I was like, hey, you got to go. You got to go. So yeah. Make sure you do your research before you get yourself into shit. make sure I do my research. Because when I'm drawn to something, I feel like I need to dig deeper. And that's just with anything in life. My life has a lot of irony to it. It's very, very hilarious. Because I really wish I was making some of this shit up, but sadly, I'm not. I just don't know what to do next, if that makes sense. Because I don't know. It's not my plans to know. I'm just supposed to go with the flow. A, O, A, O. But I really feel like digging deeper into myself has been very, very healing. Digging through my wounds and learning things about myself. Like, now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure, I don't know, I would know stuff before I was told it, if that makes sense. Because I was writing about myself, and I was reminiscing on a time when my mom, I was in trouble, right? And so she unplugged the TV and told me that I couldn't watch TV until she got home. And I had a babysitter, and my babysitter would sit in one room on one side of the house, and I would be on the other side of the house. And so I figured out if I plug the TV in, it'll turn on. And I was like 5 or 6, right? And so that's what I did. And so whenever my babysitter would walk down the hallway, I would just unplug the TV. You know? And when my mom would get home, I would unplug the TV. And by the time she actually taught me about plugging stuff in the TV, I'd already figured that out. Like, I don't know. Or like, my mom's bedroom was right next to my bedroom, and our TVs were connected. So whatever she was watching on her TV, I had to watch on my TV. And so sometimes she would make it to where it's on like a kids channel on my TV. And I figured out that if I go in her room and change the channel without even turning the TV on, I can change the channel in my TV. And so she never really knew, because she didn't hear the TV turn on in her room. I would just go in there and press buttons on the remote. So it's just like, as I think about it, it's just, what was it about me? Who am I? And I've had to figure that out. And I am Lex with 2 X's, Big Lex. If there's another Big Lex, they're not this Big Lex, okay? And that's for sure. So, whatever, right? And my real name is Muriel. And I used to hate my name. Like, I used to not like it because people would be like, Muriel, or Muriel, or Muriel. Or they would misspell it, or they would call me Merle, or Mur. Why? Why can't you just say my name? Say my name. Say my name. Say my name. If no one is around you, say, baby, I love you. If you ain't running gay, say Miriam. Okay. Y'all, that video of Beyonce and Destiny's Child, when they're like all just singing the song, she's just like, say Beyonce. And they're like, just sing the song. They're like, who is this girl? Right? But she knew who the fuck she was. That's why she said, say Beyonce. And that's why Beyonce is Beyonce, right? So, say my motherfucking name. I have to be more bold in correcting people when they say my name. Get it right. Okay? It's Big Legs. Who? Big Legs. Not Lexi. Big Legs. Unless you're family, then you can call me Lexi. Or Legs. With one X. But yeah, I'm having a fun time realizing who I am, who I was, who I want to be, what I actually see in the mirror, right? And I love every single part. Like, there's nothing I would go back and change. There's nothing I would go back and change. So, if I had a time machine, I wouldn't go back. I would go to the future. See what that's like. Then I'll come back. And mind my business. Like, ain't nothing happened. Or maybe not. Who knows? I don't believe in time machines. Hold on, y'all. Or not. Somebody was calling me from an unknown number. If you got to call somebody from an unknown number, you don't need to be talking to them. And that's on who? Period. Pooh. Okay. So, now that I know who I am, I just have to go from there. And that is the fun part. Because who I am, it's pretty cool. It's pretty great. Like, I love it here. I was out door dashing yesterday, and I was dancing in my car to, I think, Los Chismes again, because whenever I just need to get my mood back up, I just gotta play that song, because how can you not dance to that song? Like, how can you not? Like, Chiquis put her big toe in that song, okay? She put her whole foot in there, okay? And so, yeah, I was in the car dancing, and then the guy in front of me was looking at me in the rearview mirror, and he was doing the gestures I was doing. I was just like, oh my goodness. Like, are you not supposed to be looking at the road? But that's just who I am. I like to dance like nobody's watching. And if somebody's watching, they vibing with it too. Hey, cool dose, right? Like, I don't know. I love moments like that where I'm like just doing something and somebody catches me and it's just funny. It's like you get it. But yeah, I am going to enjoy being me to the best of my abilities. And with that being said, y'all have a great day. Um, and you know what I always say, okay? If you can't have a good day, don't go fucking on nobody else's. Go back to sleep, okay? Dream again. Wake up on the other side of the bed if you have to. If your bed up against the wall, then sleep on the foot of the foot side of the bed. I don't know. Just try again. All right. Love, peace, and chicken grease, y'all. Bye.